Hey everyone, thanks for joining me for a brand new career on FIFA 15 with Championship side Middlesbrough. And as always, I'm feeling excited for the new career, something fresh for the channel. I'm looking forward to the challenge of taking Middlesbrough through the Championship, hoping to get them promoted and get them back in the Premier League. I remember watching and keeping an eye on Middlesbrough when they were in the Premier League. There's so many memories. I mean, they were just one of those teams where you didn't know what you were going to get with them. I mean, they would always put up a challenge against the top sides like Arsenal, United, City, Chelsea. And sometimes they would even come away with a very confident win against those teams. And at the time, they had a pretty decent side. They had Schwarzer in goal, Michael Reisiger, do you remember him? Abel Xavier, the Portuguese centre-half, Frank Quadru, Hugo Eggio, they had Rigger, Southgate in his prime, Nemeth, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank even had a short spell as Middlesbrough's top centre-forwards, Fabio Rockenbach, the central midfielder from Brazil, Malcolm Christie from England, they even had Ray Parlour, and how about Gabriel Mendieta? My word, just looking over those names, it just brings back so many memories, not just with Middlesbrough, but every other team in the league. It was just football in a way on top of its game. It's when money didn't matter so much and agents weren't getting involved as they do today, you know. It mattered what shirt you were wearing, what crest it was on that shirt, whereas today, not so much. It has drastically changed football, I think. But anyway, I'm going off subject here. Getting back to the topic at hand, a new career with Middlesbrough. As we know, Middlesbrough have been stuck in the Championship now for many years, and they just haven't found a way to punch through that and lift themselves up back into the Premier League. Well, that's what I plan to do with this career mode. I want to get them back in the Premier League. I want to make them the team that they used to be, a team that some of the bigger sides would maybe be very cautious about because of them being a bogey side and so on. And yes, I know as I'm recording this, I'm well aware that Middlesbrough in real life are in the playoff finals against Norwich, and they could potentially be playing Premier League football next season. I would love to see that. I want to see Middlesbrough back in the Premier League. I'm not sure about you guys. What do you think? Do you want to see Middlesbrough back in the Premier League? Let me know in the comments section below. Now, as usual, when I start a new career, I just go ahead and look at the whole squad on the squad report, just to get a good feel of the type of players that we've got here, their ratings, and how many players we've got in each position. So as you can see, we've got quite a few centre-halves. Maybe I could offload some of them and bring in some replacements. You've already seen my short list with the likes of Alex Bruce on there, and also Ryan Bennett from Norwich, players that I think could fit nicely into this Middlesbrough side and into this, in a way, rebuilding stage of getting them back up into the Premier League. But then you've got to think about the players that we've already got, like Reece Williams and Jonathan Woodgate. Can we go the whole season with these players? Will they pick up an injury? You just got to plan for that eventuality, really, I suppose. Also, because I've started this new career in 2014 and done the latest updates, you've got new players like Adam Clayton and Emilio Insue. So those players, they've got to be kept in mind. I can't go on a spending spree in my first summer transfer window, although I may loan a couple of players. I have been looking at Loftus-Cheek from Chelsea, from their youth academy. I think maybe he could add a little bit to our central midfield, a bit of pace. Plus, he'd be getting a bit of experience under his belt as well. And my centre-forwards as well. We've got quite a few centre-forwards. My main two being Vosan and Kike. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And I'm not sure how satisfied I'm going to be going throughout the season with just those two. So I may look to bring in another forwards. Now, moving on to our calendar, you can see that we start our season in the Capital One Cup at home against Preston North End. But the opening day of the Championship sees us at the Riverside against Reading. It's a pretty tough month, to be honest, because after that we've got Wigan away, and then we finish the month of August at home against Birmingham City. So we could have a really tough start in this season's championship. And you can see I'm just going ahead now to look at our last game of the season, because it could come down to the last day. Hopefully it doesn't, because I don't need that stress, but it could be Derby or Huddersfield that we need to beat to get promoted. It all depends how the season is going to pan out. Obviously, with there being more teams in the championship, it means more games. It's going to be a long season, and I hope you guys are going to stick with me throughout. Now on to some transfers. You can see that I've put in an inquiry for Alex Bruce of Hull, J. Emmanuel Thomas from Bristol City, whose contract is up after 12 months. But as I mentioned, I was looking for another centre-half that can come in, help us to get the job done. So I put in an offer for J. Emmanuel Thomas, also an offer for Alex Bruce, solid centre-half, for $345,000. Keeping in mind, I haven't got much of a budget to work with Middlesbrough, only something like 4.5 million, so not too much. And that reminds me, if I was to get Middlesbrough promoted at the end of this season, should I use my financial takeover that I've still got available? I was saving it for my Mönchengladbach career, but now that I've started this one with Middlesbrough, I'm thinking maybe I should use it here, because I know in real life when a team in the championship gets promoted, they get given something like 100+ million. Obviously they don't spend that all on players, they go ahead and spend it on the training facilities, on their football ground and so on. But they get to spend something like 40 or 50 million on players. So I'm thinking maybe I use the financial takeover come the end of the season if I get promoted to the Premier League. Let me know as well, guys, what you think about that in the comments below. Now, as you can see here, I'm just wrapping up the deal for Alex Bruce, taking him from the Premier League to the Championship from Hull City, taking him away from his father, Steve Bruce, to bring him to Middlesbrough. Hopefully we can start rebuilding this back four. I know I've got Woodgate and also Reece Williams, but we need that squad depth, and I know we've got quite a few players that are younger and could possibly grow into that position, but I don't want to be messing around in this career mode. I want to be getting Middlesbrough straight to the Premier League in my first season. That's the aim. It's going to be difficult, but that's the aim. We also need a new goalkeeper, and I put in an offer for Parmesan. I know, kind of sounds like Parmesan cheese, but it's coming from Cuban Krasnodar. I think that's how you pronounce the team. I mean, I sent the scout out and it seemed like he was a pretty decent goalkeeper for his age. And obviously, if given first team football, he's going to get slightly better. Yeah, his overall rating, it's not the best, but we're just going to have to work with what we've got at the moment. And if we do get into the Premier League, he's not going to be Premier League standard, so I may look to drop him to the bench, drop him into the reserves, or maybe even offload him next season if I do decide to use the financial takeover. And as I said, you know, we're just going to have to roll with it for this season and then see what we can do next year. They did reject my offer. I mean, they put a price tag on his head for 775,000, so I came in with 685, trying to save a bit of money here and there. Chelsea accepted my loan offer for Ruben Loftus-Cheek at the age of 18, promising centre midfielder, who I think is going to fit in just nicely here at Borough. Also, I put in an inquiry for former Middlesbrough goalkeeper Brad Jones, who's now playing for Liverpool, but they put a price tag on his head for 6.5 million, totally out of my range, and I wasn't prepared to blow Borough's summer transfer budget on just one player. We need to strengthen in numbers for this season. And finally, guys, just to wrap things up here with this first episode, you can see I was able to offer a contract to Parmesan after the team accepted my transfer offer. That's it from me then, guys. Thanks for joining me for this first episode with Middlesbrough.